Well, this is I-88 going west. I'm between Aurora and DeKalb. I'm on my way up to Janesville, Wisconsin, but I'm going to be making stops in Rochelle and maybe a couple other places, and then I'm not clear on how I'm going to get back. I'm thinking about running down towards Sterling, Byron, places like that, maybe Dixon. Rockford always works into the mix also. I've been riding the road here, I-88, ever since it was built. I can remember how they built it going west back in the 70s. And what they would do is, this would be like 2 lanes, but opposing traffic. And there'd be stretches 10, 20 miles like that, and then the other side of the road was just graded. It was under construction. And then they would keep doing that, and they finally bumped it out to Sterling, and then finally all the way to Quad Cities, Davenport area. Illinois farmland, the prairie state. A lot of corns and beans. There's even a sod farm along here. Well, the speed limit down here is 70 miles per hour as we're coming up on mile 98. Okay, that was Hinckley Road. Well, if you ever wondered where your garbage goes in the Chicago metropolitan area, here's some of it here. The hidden hills of DeKalb County. I figure in another 8 years or so, somebody will build a subdivision on top of the waste site. Not too much further up is something I call the Bunker Building. It's been under construction on the south side of the tollway for, half a year, maybe going on a year. I can't figure the thing out. It might be just some sort of food plant where they have to have reinforced walls. But darn it, it looks like an above-ground bunker. That's it up on the horizon there behind the trees. We're coming up on Peace Road. DeKalb is a university town, University of Northern Illinois. There's all sorts of students. However, none of them would ever get up at 7:30 in the morning to be on the highway with me. I mean, look at that thing. It's like rebar. The whole outer shell is nothing but rebar. And it looks like they're going to cast walls that are going to be about 4 feet thick, easily. I could be completely misreading this, but that's what it looks like. Okay, the side view of the bunker building. All right, that bit of entertainment's over. All right, so the railroad fans over here, there's a track, goes under the expressway here, goes down that way. I believe this is the Troy Grove sub, of which I still have yet to catch a train on. We're about 15 miles from the Rochelle, Illinois metropolitan area. So we'll stop off at Rochelle at the railroad park. So out this way we have a lot of wind turbines, probably hundreds of wind turbines. We're not too far from Illinois 3988 if you want to look this up. It's a little bit of high ground here on the prairie, a plateau. That's why the wind blows so well. And my nephew, the physicist, tells me that under certain weather conditions, the turbines are visible on the weather radar. Okay, we got a toll plaza coming up. This is open road tolling now. It's been that way since the governor who went to prison. In a way, I like the old toll plazas because it was cash, darn it. Cash on the barrelhead. If you want to pay cash now, you can. I think. They might have a manned bucket up here. But there's no discount. You actually pay like double. They had remodeled all of these toll plazas just in time for the open road tolling. Alright, so they got an or pay online line. Alright, we're going to do a lane change here. Well, I was up before dawn. Had my coffee, got out the door, went down to the Mickey D's at York and Butterfield in Elmhurst, got a large coffee, which I've only just now started to sip. Got on the tollway at York Road, or do you say York Street, and that was at 7:05, so I'm coming up at Rochelle in 10 minutes. That'll make it 7:55, so it took 50 minutes. Will take 50 minutes to get from the Elmhurst metropolitan area to the Rochelle metropolitan area. I doubt you can see them, but over the horizon there to the right are the nuclear plants up at Byron, or plant, reactors, I believe it's plural. Now we're coming up on the 88-39-51 interchange. So this car I'm driving has, I don't know, collision avoidance systems and stuff. It reads the lines. So when I first got the car, I came up the road and I went on to 39 North. And I had the cruise control on. The ramp is a 50 ramp. So I'm doing 50 on the ramp, and I was able to take my hands off the wheel, and the car drove itself up the ramp. It just absolutely blew my mind. I had my hands just fractions of an inch from the wheel. I wasn't going to trust the darn thing. But holy camoli, this car was able to do it. Now straight ahead there's a big white building on the horizon. When they put that up, it looked like a drive-in movie screen. It was really kind of neat. And it's absolutely massive. I believe it's a frozen warehouse of some type. Now here's that ramp I was just telling you about. It's an uphill to the right ramp. It's got like an extended S. And the computer in my car was able to handle it. So we're approaching Rochelle. Rochelle is served by 88 as well as 39. We're about to go under 39. And then we'll get off, I can't remember the name of the road here. I think it's 121 or something. Now over there, big factory building that was used years ago by Nippon Sororyu, if I pronounced it right. And what was going on there is they were building Metra electric coaches there. This little bit of a hill coming up goes over the Burlington tracks, and then off to the right here we have the industrial heart of Rochelle. Let's take a look at the tracks here. And the highway we're going to get off on is 251. It's coming up in a second. Don't know if you can tell, but it looks like they're painting the water tower. So this is the highway 251. It goes due north, but in order to get to the railroad park, you gotta jog a little bit. Well, the Union Pacific tracks are blocked by a stack train going west. And we're going to the railroad park. Oh, construction! And there goes a DPU. So we're right at the railroad park here. These are the Burlington tracks. That's the diamond up ahead. Looks like railroad guy in the truck up there. Yep, UP guy. So, it's not every day you can pull into the railroad park and get power right off the bat. Alright, so there's a other reason for coming over here, and that's they have a public restroom, okay? Leave me alone. Alright, well, the railroad park's really kind of cool. They got power on display. There's a gift shop with public restrooms. They got that power over there. And I'm going to go up to the top of the hill near the diamond. Oh, that's the shelter. There's a rail cam somewhere around here aimed at the diamond. And then they also have radio for the UP and the Burlington. And then there's this great view of the diamond. The Chicago Northwestern was here first, and then the Burlington built over, and so the Burlington's responsible for the diamond care, but I believe both railroads work pretty hard. The park here, it's very family friendly, so if you're ever thinking about visiting, I would recommend it. Time to get back on the road. It's going to be interesting because I don't know how to get through town. Can you see the switcher? Burlington number 1706. There's the old Chicago Northwestern station. That's where I was a second ago. Track machines. Going through the downtown. To be perfectly honest, I've gone through this exact same stretch of road 2-3 dozen times, but I have yet to remember the route. Alright, I figured it out. So I believe this is Illinois 38 up here. The dog hub is right over there. The dog hub is alright. I would recommend the dog hub. And they are not paying me a cent for product placement. Okay, getting back on the expressway, or I should say getting on to another expressway. We're leaving Rochelle by going north on Interstate 39. 251 and 51, that was the U.S. highway that was out here for years, and then the interstate replaces it. But the old 51, 251 still exist as kind of like the overflows and what have you. A primary highway to connect Rochelle and other communities to Rockford and then further north. Elmhurst to Rochelle was about 50 minutes, and then Rochelle to Rockford is roughly 20, assuming we can make it through the construction right there at Rockford. Not too far that way is the old rail line that connected Rochelle to Rockford. It's a track in very bad condition. I want to say Illinois RailNet operates some trains on there. There's a couple of grain elevators left at, I think, Davis and maybe Holcomb. The Chicago Great Western used to come through right about here, and that went to Holcomb. I'm driving with the cruise control. I won't tell you what it's set to. That alarm was my thoughtful radar trying to assist me. The thing about cruise control, and it took me a couple trips to figure it out, it aims in like a straight line, so when the road bends, my radar beam goes into the other lane, and then if I'm too close to the traffic, say that semi-trailer, the friendly brain automatically slows me down. Way off at the edge of that field, there's some harvest going on. It'll come into view in just a few moments. Oh, maybe not. So we're coming up on Illinois 72. Illinois 72 parallels the old Milwaukee Road. And then way off that way, maybe 6 miles, is Davis Junction, where that Illinois RailNet track will intersect at a Y with the old Milwaukee Road, which is now Canadian Pacific. Since the interstate highway was the latecomer, it had to build the road over the railroad tracks. There's some guys harvesting up on the hill there, or at least they got the equipment parked up there. I don't know if you can see it. There's a plane coming in. It's going to the Chicago Rockford International Executive High Class Airport. So the airport is actually built on top of what was called Camp Grant. That was a military base, an army base that did training for World War I, World War II, maybe Korea, maybe the Spanish-American War. The base basically got abandoned, and then the car just slowed down automatically. Base got abandoned, and the need for the railroad track wasn't all that important, and the land was idle. And then somebody said, you know, a landing strip would be good here. And Rockford and the county and the state has put a lot of money into it. I gotta wonder if that's the same plane. So they've been rebuilding the interchange with 3920, and we're not too far from the junction of I-90. So they've really changed this up from the way it used to be. Flagman. Oh, this is the most airplanes I've seen out here in a long time. Just passed a sign that said last exit before tollway. So we're coming up on the junction with, oh, this is still 39. But we're also running US 20 right here. Behind me, if you take US 20 across the state, you end up in Galena, I believe. That's President Grant's hometown. Alright. This particular ramp interchange can be disconcerting for the person that goes over it the very first time. And if you happen to be a regular driver out here and you're doing this in the winter when there's just a sheet of black ice up here, it's even more terrifying. So coming up is the merge with 90 and this will become 9039. So those trucks down there are coming off of 90, and we're at the south end of Rockford. It must be a family-owned business. The Enzymes own that truck. Well, I just finished the coffee that I purchased in Elmhurst an hour and a half ago. It was still warm. So you might be asking, why am I doing 8839? Back in the old days when I-90 was brand new, that was the way we traveled. But then, across the decades, the scores of years, it's become totally urbanized, and it's a suicide run as far as I'm concerned. It's just too congested. 88 and 39 are busy roads, but there's less traffic. Now that I'm in Rockford and I'm running north of Rockford, there's going to be a lot more truck traffic, a lot more congestion. It's just more fun to drive when there's less vehicles on the road. Well, Rock Cut State Park is somewhere along here. It's a nice place to visit. And yet another toll facility coming up. This thing was much more impressive when it had the booths. It would be like 8 or 10 booths on the one side, 8 or 10 booths on the other side. Traffic going 90 miles per hour, then suddenly locking up the brakes when they realized, yes, there's a toll plaza here. So the open road tolling, just figure it saves you maybe 3 to 5 minutes for each toll plaza. Let me see, coming up here, there's the York Road Plaza, DeKalb, then this one. So there's at least 3, so you can make the claim that open road tolling in 90 miles saves you 10 to 15 minutes. Well, we're coming up on Wisconsin pretty quick here. We're going through the Beloit, Illinois metropolitan area. Then after that, we'll go through the Beloit, Wisconsin metropolitan area. And then after that, we'll hit Janesville. So coming into Wisconsin, we leave the Illinois tollway system, and it becomes public freeway up here. So we are now entering Wisconsin. This is the state line. We're in Rock County. And coming up on the right is the Welcome Center. And it's a nice center. They got tourist information there. They got nice people working the counter. They also have a public restroom. So that's it over there where all those trucks are parked. And look at these semi-tractors tailgating. Pretty much got themselves into a pileup. I do like the orange color. So here's the sign telling us to go to Janesville. Well, Wisconsin rebuilt the interchange with 43 and 90 some years ago. That's what these massive bridges are. And so the driving conditions up here are pretty much ideal. Too bad I missed it. There's a jackass ahead of us zipping in and out of lanes at about 90 or 100 miles per hour. It's just congested enough that you really can't tell where the lanes are. I shouldn't put it that way. You can't tell when the people are changing lanes. They do it rather suddenly. I'm going to change lanes now. My exit is coming up in another, I don't know, 5 or 8 miles. All right, everybody, smile. You're on fascist camera. The automated truck stop. The states got smart years ago, and they created an honor system. So if you're a decent driver and your company has integrity and reliable, pretty much you can just go past. And then when you get over to these guys, They got scanners up on the poles and everything. And even before you get to the way part where the scale is, they already know who you are, and they have your paperwork all lined up, ready to go. So we're coming up on Highway 11 West, also known as Avalon. We're going to get off here. And fortunately, I don't have to go through the roundabout when I go west. I would be very disturbed if I had to go through the roundabout. All right, top of the hill here. This is one of those, what do they call it, diverging interchanges, where they put you like twice in suicide. They're setting you up for like a death kill here. Instead of the old-fashioned safe ramps, they want you to cross the other traffic. Yeah, it'd be real cool if that semi comes at me, right? So I don't know if you can see it, but ahead of me to the right is the Union Pacific Railroad Yard at Janesville, Wisconsin. I'm going to get off here at Libby's Lane, which I suspect was named after the vegetable canning company. And odds are I will not see any moving trains here. I've been taking this little detour, for the good part of 20 years. And I think twice I've seen trains. So I'm pretty much going south now. Then I'll hang a right just past the crossing. Yep, once again struck out. Avalon Road again. A couple thoughts here. We got 51 coming up, which is under construction. It's been under construction for like a year and a half. Really disrupts driving around here. The other thing is, this is the end of town that had the tornado a couple months ago. And they had hundreds of trees knocked down, and then there's a pheasant farm coming up on the right somewhere. And the pheasant farm had their, a lot of the shelters had the roofs carried away or something like that. And the hundreds, if not thousands, of pheasants were scattered to the winds. So there was quite a bit of cleanup for residential, commercial, and agriculture here. There's a Quick Trip over there. I really enjoy that Quick Trip because they have good food that's warm and hot. And they don't pay me to say stuff like that. Okay, road closed, 1.5 miles ahead, local traffic only. We'll see what happens. A tractor warning sign, that's ominous. All right, is it closed? Closed. Gosh. Okay, this is eastbound Delavan Drive. I think this is the old Milwaukee Road right here. Almost sure of it. And this is the sneaky way here. All right, railroad crossing coming up where I've recorded a number of videos, Wisconsin Southern videos. And we're going to be going past the old General Motors Janesville plant, which no longer exists. So here's the tracks. And this old factory was served by both the Union Pacific, Chicago Northwestern, and Milwaukee Road, Canadian Pacific, and the land's in limbo. And the reason I'm coming this way is because there's a gas station up ahead that sells real gasoline, not adulterated with ethanol. Okay, so it's a Zitco. I don't care. Well, after messing with the darn thing for a couple minutes, I realized I was putting the credit card in backwards. Well, I just purchased something like $40 worth of gasoline. I'm at a full tank, and because it's real gasoline, my car computer's claiming that I have a range of 330 miles now. Oh, it's great. Good acceleration, and I will not be dribbling water out my tailpipe. So here's the Wisconsin Southern again, this crossing. I must have 3, 4, 5 videos here. Now we got to go up to the top of the hill and see if we can sneak across the Rock River Bridge. Alright, the good news is I just saw a guy make the turn here. Nobody coming. Road closed. Yeah, we're going this way. The guy across from me is kind of upset because I might have jumped the line. Alright, so this is the Rock River Bridge. Just underneath the bridge here is where the Monterey Dam used to be. I made many a video there, and also the other dam upriver at Centerway. So they got the road closed here, so now I have to sneak through. And we're real close to the Wisconsin Southern Rail Yard here. The embankment here reminds me of Dixon, Illinois, where they got a very similar large embankment. So, old reliable's not going to work for me. Look at that. They closed the railroad crossing up ahead. Huh, they might be waving people through. There's a flagman. Alright, so over here I can't keep track of the railroad tracks. This might be the Union Pacific. Up ahead on the right is the old Milwaukee Road Roundhouse, which is now the headquarters of Wisconsin Southern. The turntable is still there and still operates. I've made many a video here, and it looks like we're going to be able to sneak across. And I've caught a few trains along here in the old corridor. I think one of these buildings along here is the old railroad station. Okay, the Rock River Valley. So on the right is the Centerway Dam. Which you can't really see. And on the left is the old bridge across the river. So this pond on the left is where they have an annual contest where in the winter when the ice freezes, they put a pickup truck out on the ice, and then they set up a betting pool for who can predict when it'll fall through the ice. You ever hear of the Parker Pen Company? Well, this used to be their headquarters, and I think they had a manufacturing plant here too. The Parker family was big in Janesville for decades. So north on US 51, I'm heading up to the county complex. I'm going to visit somebody up there. And then after that, I got a notion to go a little bit further north past the Threshery and up to Indian Ford to take a look at the dam there. Well, the Rock County complex. Yep, Rock County has a complex. They've had a complex for a long, long time. I think almost all of these buildings are dedicated to mentally ill patients. We're going to go down to the building of maps and memories. Well, it was mostly a good visit over at the Division of Legends and Lore. You know, I'm not able to come up here all the time, so even though I can make the claim that I know the town, I really just don't know the town all that much. So we're going past their bunker buildings. All right, we're going to get back on 51 and go north. We're going to go past the Threshery, Thresherman's Park, and then we'll go up to the Indian Ford Dam, if I can find Indian Ford. I think it's right on this highway. Maybe not. Ah, yes, semi-rural Wisconsin where the John Deere tractors go right down the highway. So that deer up there, see him? Looks like he's going west on 14. I believe that's out Evansville way. And I have recorded videos in Evansville. One of the great ones is the Great Train Chase. I took the slow-moving hopper train going to Evansville. If I hadn't been holding the camera, I would have done a honk and wave. Infantile entertainment when you go to these rural towns. You can randomly honk at people and they'll always wave. 8 miles to Edgerton. I was up here September 1st, Labor Day weekend, for the Rock River Threshery at Thresherman's Park, Edgerton, Wisconsin. It's living history. Antique steam tractors, antique gas tractors, antique diesel tractors. They got their own steam locomotive, steam sawmill. They have all sorts of stuff, and I've probably done, across the years, 40 different videos showing the Rock River Threshery. Well, there's Thresherman's Park. My first helicopter ride ever was there. My first Model T ride ever was there. And like I said, I got a lot of videos there. So we're going to head up the road. I want to stop by the Indian Ford Dam, and I think it's going to be a left turn somewhere. But also coming up somewhere on the right is this old, kind of busted down stone farm building. And I've done 2 or 3 videos on that. I just wanted to get a glimpse of what it looks like now. That should be coming up soon, unless they've leveled it. All right, Indian Ford. It's out in County M. Oh, and there's the building. Indian Ford, unincorporated. So I can see the bridge about a block up. So let's go across to the other side. I think there's a parking area there next to the old powerhouse. Riverside Drive. Found the secret back way in. Now, if you like the scenes here, I've done a bunch of videos. They're all on the channel. Been up here pretty much every season. Rock River. I've been to that bar. Had a beer there, several beers. So the little rock building on the corner there, that's fascinated me for a while. I must have at least 3 videos of it showing its various states of decay. I think the last time I did this was it was winter time sometime, and the roof was no longer holding up. So we gotta wait for the mailman, the mail carrier, and across the highway we go! You can barely see it from this side. The roof is collapsed. It's on the playlist for abandoned, forlorn, and derelict. Alright, I gotta peel out really fast here. Guy coming up behind me. So this is south on 51. We'll be passing the Threshery pretty soon. I just can't get enough of the Threshery. I mean, I like steam trains, but man, steam tractors are awesome. That's the pile driver out in the center with the flag, the derrick looking thing. I got like 3 or 4 videos just on the pile driver. So, I came up today with 3 cameras. I'm running 2 Canon Vixias. I'm using my oldest Vixia, which has a smaller viewfinder to do this sort of work. The other camera is on the floor of the car along with the 2 external microphones. I also have an iPhone with me, which is set to super ultra duper duper super HD at 60 frames per second. Camera wise, video wise, I think I'm up to 4,000 plus videos on the channel, and over time I've been using different cameras. The first couple cameras were real cheapy digital cameras. Then I got into a pair of Sony's DSLRs, and those did good, very good video at 480. So the stuff from a dozen years ago is all in old-time TV aspect ratio. And then I went over to a Sony. It was a Sony FDR AX53, and I had 2 of those, and they're decent cameras except for the one quirk where if you run your SD card out to the very end, the camera doesn't know that it's about to run out of space, and when you click off on a Sony recording, it actually creates a tiny file at the end. And if you don't have that tiny file, and you don't click it off and you let it run on and on, the camera will brick up. Yeah. You gotta basically remove the power supply, let it sit by itself for a week or 2 so it loses its energy, and then you can reboot it. I wish I had known about that ahead of time. The Sonys, those FDR AX53s, they had a really good focus thing. They had something like 36 points of focus. With this Canon Vixia, this is the RF50 something, I think. It only has like 6 points of focus on it. And same with the other one. So even though the camera is shooting at a high, you know, it's like an HD format. It's 60 frames per second. However, comparing it to the Sony, in terms of usage, it was easier to use the Sony. Okay, we're coming up on Highway 14 again, and the complex known as Rock County is right over there. Now we're coming back into the heart of Janesville. The viaduct there, that's Memorial Drive. And just to the right is the Rock River. Here on the right is the mentioned pickup dumping grounds. The guy better be careful where he parks. Somebody might volunteer his pickup to be the next victim. So here's the railroad viaduct again. There's a Army surplus place over here that has some pretty good deals. Again, another unpaid plug. This tavern up here, I've been in here several times for beer. And it's a neat tavern. They're very pro-veteran. I'm driving behind somebody's chateau. Can't figure out what the rig is on the back. He's got a storage on the back, but he's got like a mechanism on his bumper. So here's the Rock River again. And just out of sight, past the guardrail, is the dam, the Centerway Dam. The red brick structure, that's the powerhouse. Alright, this is like the secret back road. I'm not sure if this was the depot, yes or no. It's something historic. It would be neat if they can get the Amtrak service up here. Even cool if they could get the Metra service up here. This is a rail hub town. And it could really use passenger service. So, yet again, I've done videos here. Look on the channel and the playlist for Wisconsin Southern. So this time of day, being here, it's when I have to start thinking about lunch, food. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drift past the yard again, see if there's anything going on. Double back on the other side, see if there's anything going on the other end of the yard. Let's see if these guys will wave me through again. Yeah. Looks like a quiet day on the rails today. There's another one of those rail viaducts. And then the track ahead, I'm not clear if this is just an industrial lead that goes to the mysterious petrochemical plant, or if this is the one that follows the river going on south. Okay, this one is the one that follows the river going on south. So that's the other Canon Vexia. Here's my battery charging station. Somebody forgot to bring the spare batteries today, which is causing a little bit of a problem. So I'm on Arch Street in Janesville, going north, and this is where the Wisconsin Southern, former Milwaukee Road, crosses here. So the yard stretches quite a distance. I was down there a few minutes ago, and then we got this. And no trains. So it's time to start thinking about leaving the metropolitan area. Well, it's a Thursday in October, and usually on Thursdays I have some luck seeing Wisconsin Southern rail traffic. Just not today. So, time to vamos. Right down here at the bottom of the hill, this stop sign, this is kind of a suicide stop here. Traffic going this way is the only one that has to stop. So if you ain't paying attention, somebody coming up D over there is going to clip you pretty good. Alright, so here's those two sets of tracks. The first is the main that goes south from here, and the next is the industrial lead. That's the main. And And this is the industrial lead. And now we're going back through the portals. I bet you the school bus drivers are really frustrated by all this construction. Looks like we're heading to the same neck of the woods. So that's one of the big rail bridges across. There's the other rail bridge across. We'll get another look at that one. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, now we're finally over where the Monterey Dam used to be. So the Anglers were another prominent Janesville family. They were well known for their ability to hustle. How do you like that bridge? And the other one behind it. Okay, that's the Highway 51 bridge. And this is where I lose track of everything. I don't know which bridge is which. One of them is the old Milwaukee Road, the other one's the old Chicago Northwestern. And right in here is where the dam used to be located. And the dam was kind of an oddball dam that didn't like go straight across. I want to say there were some jogs in the dam structure. The last time I was here, the water was high. And oh, I'd be waist deep. Alright, well, I just got off the phone with my friend Jeff. Jeff builds HO scale trains. He's got a great channel. Does a lot of HO model railroading. And I've been up to the club there, the Arlington Heights Society of Model Engineers, several times. And I've got that group. So there's the portal again. And we're going to head out to the highway. And it looks like we can get across the bridge. Several visits ago, further up, I got stuck at a gas station. The road construction guys cut out the entrance. Okay, we got a blinking red light, which is for Delavan Drive. And I'm going to make the left up here. There is the outside chance that there might be a train. Alright, so going to do it. So the VFW is up on the hill there. And guess what? I can hear a train. I hear a train. I can hear a horn. So let's see what we got down here. If I can hear the train, that means it's probably coming. It's probably going west. I'm going east. I'm going to pull down this little side street here where I have parked in the past. This is where the old General Motors plant used to be. This is the old Milwaukee Road tracks. Well, I'm leaving town via Beloit Drive, Avenue Street. I'm in the heart of the Janesville Industrial District here. This is the fairly new industrial zone they have. I was going to find some food, but I'm too far from the one place and too far from the other place, and so I think I'm going to wait till I get a little further south. So we're coming up on Highway 11, Avalon, and I'll go past the UP yard again, and we'll see if anything's going on there. So I got to go up to that goofy turnaround, turn off thing where I was earlier. There's a dollar store around. They can't remember which one, if it's General or Tree or General Tree or Tree General. But they got a big distribution center up around here, and I keep seeing their trucks. It's behind me to the right. So La Prairie Lane is the little diversion turn I'm taking. And if I was to keep going straight, and I'll be back on this road in a few moments, that's going to take me over to the town of Turtle. And I've videoed over in the town of Turtle several times. There's the Stone Arch Bridge down there, and then the old Turtle Creek Bridge is now gone. But they exist on my channel. So these are the Union Pacific tracks. Yeah. So those railroad tracks going east and southeast, they go into Illinois. And if you've ever been to Harvard, Illinois, that's where you'd pop out. So I'm coming up on the interchange again, the diverging diamond. I don't want to get assassinated by any vehicular traffic here. Whee! I like how they got the gates now at these interstate ramps. So if they ever wanted to, they can like shut you off from your freedom of travel. By the way, this whole trip I've been smelling anhydrous ammonia. Off and on, the whole trip up here, the moment I got out to the rural area. So I think along with the harvest, the farmers are redoing their fields and they're pumping the anhydrous in. Miles per hour. Well, the return trip is going to be a little bit different than coming up here. Right now we're going to go underneath 43 again. I mean, this is absolutely spectacular the way they built this thing. So I'm going to have to wait till I get down to 72 for some sort of lunch. What we'll do is we'll go down into Illinois past Rockford, and then we'll take 72 over the Davis, and then we'll kind of follow the old railroad all the way down to Rochelle. Flag Center is the specific town we'll be going to. Some guy in a little blue car with government plates almost cut me off. When I honked, he saluted me. He's ahead about 3/4 of a mile right now. I'm waiting to see him flame out in a fiery wreck. Well, we're down near Rockford. It's 10 minutes later, and Blue Car Maniac is still only a 1/4 mile ahead of me after driving like a maniac. Everything's backing up with the congestion, so, you know, idiots like that probably will never learn, but at the same time I'm expecting to come across the wreckage. Coming up on the interchange again. This is kind of a goofy one. It's an uphill ramp to the right. It's not really expressway speed. Probably one of the things they're going to be doing in the near future when they get the other work done is to work on the ramp and to stretch it so you can go from one expressway to another without having to reduce speed. So this truck says Sara Lee. When I saw it from about a mile back, I could have sworn it had the Schlitz logo on it. So not too many times ago when I came up here, I think it was 2.5 months ago, some guy had wiped out right here against the guardrail where there's the big vent spot in the guardrail. Yeah. So coming up another couple miles, we're going to see the construction. The last 2 times I came through here, everything was backed up bumper to bumper. So they must have got something done. All right, to go south on 39, we leave the interchange. And I'm down to like 1 minute on this battery, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the construction. Well, it's new concrete here. And I think we're going to be on the new bridge up there. Well, that pile of dirt up there past the bridge, that's all brand new. So this was always a single lane ramp until you got well to the other side. It looks like it's going to be 2-lane ramp. And the latest in interstate science is, again, when you're changing expressways, you don't want to have to slow down for a ramp. There used to be a couple down by Elmhurst, you'd be doing the 55 miles per hour, and then all of a sudden you had to drop down to 15 miles per hour. And all sorts of traffic accidents. They're putting in landscaping, so they must be moving forward on the plan. That beeping noise, that's the car radar saying that I'm too close to this yellow line off to the left. Now it doesn't want to read anything at all. Alright, so where's this guy going? Alright, somehow I gotta figure out how to change this battery out. Now that we're out of the construction, I think it's safe. So I'm back on 39 going south. We're heading up to 72, and then we'll kick off 39 and take 72 west for a few miles. So the ramp for 72 is coming up. The attraction sign said something like the Plantation Room and the Bigorn Highway. I went by them pretty quick and I wasn't paying much attention. No sign of the blue car maniac. I think we have lost him. I can't tell what's up there on the horizon. It's either a dust storm or a fire. It's been pretty much a drought out this way for a long time, since the middle of the summer. I know up in Wisconsin there's been some areas that they have restrictions on burning right now. 72 west in the emergency Route 39. This is the junction with 251. We're not going to get on 251. We're going to go a little further up to Davis and those other railroad tracks. This is a miserable intersection. So this is kind of like Don Quixote and the Holy Grail, my quest to actually see a moving train on the north-south tracks. Now recently, in the last couple of years, I've been able to catch some power on the old Milwaukee Road, the Canadian Pacific, but that's just on the east-west track. So here's the crossing, and the Y, the diamond, whatever you want to call it, is just off to the side. There we are. And there we are. So we go up a little bit further. I almost feel like a resident of this town. There's a coffee place here. I wonder if it's open. He might be open. I can't tell. It was closed. The guy was literally unhooking the trailer there, and I chatted with him for 15 seconds, and he told me he's there from 6 in the morning till 1. I promised him that eventually I'll get over there. It looks like there's somebody down there railroad-wise. I wonder if they got the power. So this is the mystery road that parallels the mystery tracks going south. Nothing. Nothing. Alright. And going south from here, it's navigation by the seat of my pants. Look at that corn. It's as high as an elephant's eye. And maybe 200, 300 feet across the field is the mystery tracks. Yep, back through there. Do you see the little bridge? Alright, so we got a signal shanty. It kind of kills me that they have to maintain these crossing gates here. Big Mound Road. So nothing that way and nothing that way. Lost dog, large with bark. I think that's what it said. I hope they get their dog back. It was a huge sign. So here's the tracks. I can't remember what the next town is. It might be Holcomb. Yep, it's Holcomb. It's a, and the dog is a lost large tan dog. I hope they get it back. Looks like there's a tree down over the tracks down there. So, somewhere in here is where the Chicago and Great Western crossed. There was a diamond, there was a station. I think it was about a block up that way. Oh, and I just got lost. Alright, let's see if this goes around the block or if it is a end of death. Somebody's got an old Ford Galaxy back there. Looks like a 61 or a 62. The beautiful Holcomb Metroplex. So the tracks are still off to the side there, not too far. Now we are on the gravel road. One of the last times I came up here, the day before, I washed the car and then I decided to go driving on the gravel road. Go figure, huh? I think there's a guy behind me about half a mile, and some of these guys will get right up on your tail in the dust cloud. I don't know, can you see that? How about this way? And other guys will hang back. somewhere along here was where that railroad flat car was located. It had a backhoe with a brush cutting attachment on it. I came through here once and I recorded it as it was cutting some brush. And then a month later, when I came through again, here it was sitting off to the side, a burned up hulk. It must have burned up like within hours of me passing it the one time. This is where it gets a little goofy. I'm having good luck with navigating by the seat of my pants right now. Alright, so we go here and we go here. So this farmer to the right, he's harvested and everything's down. And what do we have here? No idea. I don't think anything's come down these tracks in at least the last couple weeks. This track has been used as grain hopper storage. There's those couple of grain elevators that do get some sort of service. And then it is a connector between Flag Junction on the Burlington and tracks up in Rockford. But I just don't see the big railroads using this as a shortcut. This is where it might get weird trying to figure out where I'm at. Okay, Dutch. Okay, what I think I'm going to do is actually look at a map here. Oh. Illinois Railway. Dutch Road. So, my instinct was wrong. That's the way we came. I wanted to go that way, go back out the 251, but the other road, which I think is Center something, shows a better deal. And my back window is getting covered with dust. Random farmer going east on Mowers Road. Or is it Mowers? So, I can't get back to the mystery tracks easily. So we're going to go down to Flag Center and see if anything's happening down there. Change of plan. I decided to make a left and we'll go through here. This might be King's. I don't know. Alright. We turn here. By the way, have you noticed I keep referencing we as in me as in the plural? Who is with me? Did I lock the children and the old people in the trunk? Possibly. That's the John Deere dealer. Oh, this is King's. I actually halfway know where I'm at. So here's our mystery tracks. I just can't remember what street is like the main street here at King's. Nothing and nothing. We'll go down Second. Would you believe this is Main Street in King's? Uh-huh. Okay, I see the primary industry here. And they're probably hustling because it is harvest time. Guy back there has an auger for sale. Okay, we're turning south onto First Street, coming off of Main Street. And now I've kind of lost my orientation on the map. I think I take this to the end and hang a right. back in Elmhurst 25 years ago, I remember some guy at the hobby shop, Al's Hobby Shop, customer wanted to get in a fight. There's 10 people in line, 9 people are model railroaders. He's the airplane guy, and he's running his mouth. My railroad fans are the most obsessive people in the world. He was probably right. Okay, that was the Bethel Road crossing. So we're really not that far from Flag at this point, and I think we're only about 4 or 5 miles north of Flag Center. Well, for a change, I did something right. I was able to get on the center, and I think it's called center because this is the road that divides the center of the township, and the township might be named Flag Township, Flag with 2 G's. We're coming up on Flag Center. See the railroad crossing? So I have maybe 5 or 6 videos that are recorded at this crossing. That way is Rochelle. It's just a couple miles. And that other view was looking kind of west. That goes out towards Savannah. So no trains over there today. Now to get back over to Rochelle, we go a couple more miles south on Center. Then we pick up Illinois 38 and we take that east back over to the Diamond and the rail park. 38. Some sort of bizarre road barrier truck. Oh no, those were pallet jacks, powered pallet jacks. All right, we gotta wait for a couple of cars. This guy's turning. He's probably grateful that I waited for him. Off there in the distance, I don't know if you can see the water towers, but that's Rochelle. And off to the right, it's coming up, it's going to be the Union Pacific Global something yard. It's one of the big intermodal yards, and I'm never clear on whether or not it's operational or it's just a pass-through yard. So across the fields, that's the Union Pacific yard. Not too long ago, the Union Pacific Big Boy steam locomotive was in town, visited, and I was almost out here. A buddy of mine, Jeff from Jeff Builds HO Scale Trains, he was going to come out too. We were going to go together, and then circumstances said we could only do it at Elmhurst, so he got a good video at Elmhurst, I got a good video at Elmhurst. And then we watched the news. And actually, Rochelle, I believe, was before Elmhurst, and the whole town was jammed up. They had more people visiting than actually lived in the town. They had people parking their cars along the highway and walking over to the railroad yard. Talk about popular. Okay, track machines up there to the right of the crossing. The gates are activated. I think it's because of the track machines. The semi-trailer ahead of me is going to go through the road closed barriers. Oh yeah, they're working on the crossing there. Now this one is the Burlington, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Got that right. Alright, we're coming up on the railroad park, just a couple more turns. Curses. I forgot about the construction. Oh man, I gotta go around. See, it's down there that I want to be and I can't get through. So I'm going to have to go look at the train station again, huh? Standard Oil Company. Alright, here's the old Chicago Northwestern Depot. We looked at it earlier. So so let's see if anything's coming up the UP. Nothing, nothing. And now we got the Burlington tracks. Let's see if anything's coming up the Burlington. Nothing, and it looks like the switcher has moved out. Yep, no switcher, so it's working somewhere. Now let's go to the railroad park. That's the Burlington looking towards the Diamond. Here's the front of the railroad park. Just a minute ago I was on the other side. And there's population here, so we'll go up to the top of the hill in a minute. Okay, that's where the track machines were working when I was on the other side. There's the Diamond. And they're working down there too. So one of those cameras is probably the security camera for the village of, and the other camera would be Trains Magazine Rail Cam, which I believe is available 24 hours, 24/7, that sort of thing. Union Pacific. The end of the train. Can you see the Milwaukee Road caboose over there behind the workers? Alright, let's go this way. I need food soon, sustenance. We're gonna head deeper in the town this time. We're gonna go down by the other industrial area, the newer industrial area, see if anything's running. So these are the Burlington tracks here, and the Union Pacific tracks are like another eighth a mile, quarter mile north of that. Okay, I'm going to turn right on Caron Road and go south. Caron, C-A-R-O-N. My understanding is the road was named after a prominent female resident of Rochelle who was a curmudgeon, constantly talking about problems and pointing out people's defects. Caron Road. So we got a track down the right, and we got a train coming right at us, man. Oh, which side is he on? Okay, he's on the left. That might be like Illinois RailNet. Burlington Junction Railway. He's going my way. This guy looks like a switcher, and I'm wondering if they're going to do something where they put it up on the main line. There's a lot of miscellaneous food processing going on around here, and that's probably where that train is backing into. Okay, that was serendipitous. Wonder if we'll find any more. Doubt it. We got to head back out to 38, which means I got to go across town again. And I'm never sure where I'm at around here. I believe the soybean plant is running today. I can smell it. The coin laundry there was named after Tommy Coyne. Coyne family ran that for years. You know, I think I see more power up on the UP. Probably worth checking out. I don't know what they're doing. They looked like they were down at the Diamond. Okay, here's the UP tracks here. Yep. Miscellaneous abandoned place. The Burlington guys are working on some sort of pile driver here. And there's a nice view of the railroad station. Train. He's going the other way. So behind me on the UP, that train was actually going east. But I heard another horn. So I'm going to head back down towards the railroad park, and maybe I'll see that train at the grade crossing. I think it's too late for that. Yep, I can see it way ahead of me. Way, way, way ahead of me. I have a suspicion there's a Burlington, or there's the power. All right, the gift shop's open. I'm gonna go in here for half a second. Hello. They got everything in here. So I got a soda. It was $1.60. I was glad to spend it because the money goes to support the museum. So we're gonna head back over to where we saw that Burlington Junction locomotive, still talking in the plural, see if anything's changed there, and after I scope that, it's time to leave town, and I'm overdue for food. It's past 2:30 now, and I haven't had anything since the breakfast banana. One of the things that's different about Rochelle compared to other railroad towns is they're still building here. They're still building railroad tracks. Alright, we're coming up on that food place. I'll be darned, it's about to come across the road. Now my timing's a little off behind this tractor trailer. And all he's doing is a back and forth, so he wasn't going to cross the road. Just got my second chance at it. Unfortunately, I'm not able to stop. There's no like public parking along here. You stand around here, you're going to get clipped by a semi-trailer. I usually don't leave town this way. So here we got a big viaduct over the rails. I'm thinking this is the Burlington here. You ever hear about these rail fans whose cars keep breaking down on the bridges over the tracks? Yeah. Oh, you can see the quarry from here. The thing is huge. I think it got bigger when they built the interstate. Oh, golly. I gotta figure out if I want to eat up here. Let's see what we got. McDonald's, Subway, first responders, the Iron Skillet, Wendy's. Wendy's wouldn't be too bad, but they're on the wrong side of the intersection right now. I'm not big on truck stop food, so I'm not going to go into the Petro. Although I've been in there in previous lives. So not that long ago, let me see, maybe 6 hours ago, I was in the left lane here getting ready to go over to 39. However, for the return trip, I've decided I'm going to take 38. At least to DeKalb, maybe out to 47, then I'll jump back on 88. 38 out here is pretty much a country road, state highway. 38, once you get past DeKalb, it starts getting congested, and by the time you get past 47, it's silly suburbia. There's a gas station up there on the left. I wonder if they got any sushi. Don't know if you can see this, but it's a 2-lane blacktop. The asphalt's been just redone. And they got those temporary yellow stripes down the middle. There's a no passing zone coming up, but without the regular striping, a lot of these fools will not know not to pass. The guy behind me in the little Nissan, he's staying pretty close to my bumper. I'm trying to give this guy some extra room. Okay, so this is the no passing zone, so what's concerning is not so much my direction of travel, but what about the people coming the other way? All right, brake lights. What do we got here? Hey, there's a Casey. Still have some sort of gas station sandwich there. I'm gonna give them a try. I just don't want to go hunting through DeKalb. Right next door to Roadhouse Antiques. You got to ask yourself a question about that. Roadhouse Antiques. Does that mean the antique store is in an old roadhouse? Does it mean they only sell antiques that came out of roadhouses? Who knows? They got food on the door. Well, I'm going to be eating, so I pulled off my souvenir Samuelson's restaurant sweatshirt. And I got a cherry pie and crispy chicken sandwich. Oh. They didn't have any sushi, but they had a whole bunch of wraps. So we're going past the car wash dental center, or did it say detail center? Oh yeah, just another semi-trailer I want to pull out directly in front of. Yeah! He can go in front of me on this blacktop that has no real striping. Headlights are on. We're 11 miles from DeKalb. This should give me just enough time to eat my sandwich. We're getting close to DeKalb now. The road has returned to a regular highway with striping. The moment I hit the DeKalb County line, that's when that happened. The Casey's chicken sandwich with pickles turned out to be delicious. A little bit too dry, a little bit too much crunchy breading. I'm not sure if that's because it was in the warming tray all day, or if it's due to a huge amount of preservatives. I always love these traffic signals that are like in the middle of nowhere. Behind me, I got a guy in one of those new hopped up sports cars. Oh, what is it, a Cougar or something like that. It's one of those copies of the muscle cars from like the 70s and the late 60s. I got a feeling he's going to try to pass pretty soon. We're in Malta. Tracks are that way. Ooh, test seed. Don't see that too often. So I haven't had the cherry pie yet. I don't think I dare eat the cherry pie while I'm driving. I think that's just like a mess waiting to happen. I'll probably wait till I get back to the Yorkfield metropolitan area. More harvesting guys. You know, we're over halfway through October. And so these fields, they're getting picked clean. I don't know if you can make out the dormitory towers across the field there. That's northern. I understand that the same guy that designed those dormitory towers is the same guy that designed the Metropolitan Correctional Complex in the Loop in Chicago. We're getting close to the old DeKalb Depot. We've made it through the college section of town. Hopefully, while I'm at the depot, I might meet some co-eds. Alright, the sign across the top of that building says Van Orthopedic and Spine Surgery. So if your name is Van, they will take care of you. Oh, there's a little tank back there. I think that might have been a Stewart. Alright. We shall make it through the mighty hamlets downtown. I got a vague notion of where I'm at. Just vague. The Van Vee. Police action. Okay, I think we're right there by the station. And yes, this brings us right out to the old railroad station. This is the old Chicago Northwestern passenger depot. So we'll slip in here. And with any luck, we'll catch a train. Well, it's DeKalb. I parked the Japanese car that's made in Mexico. And I'm kind of hovering, hoping that a train will show up. There's the old coaling tower. And it looks like there's a track machine parked along there. This would have been the center of town 50, 80, 100, 150 years ago. The train station, that's where everybody came and left town. There's another one of the Coyne family businesses. This is one of the different branches though. The Lavenderias, that was the original mother's last name. Leaving DeKalb, well, leaving the station anyways, getting back onto 38. Just missed the light here. So I think this track here is the Troy Grove sub. I could be so very wrong so easily. So up there and down there. So that train back at DeKalb, that was a westbound, and that was going pretty darn fast. It was probably track speed 70 miles per hour. And I think they got the gate horns there, but I think he saw me and he started honking too. I realized after the fact that the sidewalk gate was about 4 feet behind me. I didn't walk up the sidewalk the way the gate was, so I didn't notice it. I just kind of like positioned myself. So this is Salmonock Road, and the tracks are still way over there. We're not going to see them again the rest of this trip. I think I'll go up to 47 and cut back over up there. School bus. Man, that must be horrible out here on the highway. Way across the field, they're working over on the tracks there. It looks like there's a little creek, and there's probably a bridge or a culvert there. Chances are they're reinforcing the abutment and the embankment up there. So here we got a school bus. It's discharging children. I can see the stop sign is out on the left. And it looks like a third grader and a second grader are getting off, and the door is closed. Safely delivered. That's good. Now this is County Line Road. So I'm leaving DeKalb County, and I think that means I'm going into Kane County. Kane County, of course, was named after the famous movie, which in turn was named after the first homicide ever recorded. Well, the traffic's getting heavier. We're between DeKalb and the metro area. DeKalb and West Chicago, if you want to be specific. There's a school bus about 2 or 3 vehicles ahead of me, and that's the same one. I'm expecting it to stop a half dozen more times. Meredith Road. Traffic signal. Well, no, he's turning. He's going to the barn sale. And Meredith Road, of course, was named after a guy from the old original, not the original Batman TV show, but the 1960s Batman. The character was the Penguin, and the actor was Burgess Meredith. Look at this guy. Look at this jackass. So he passed me and the two guys in front of me on a double yellow at an intersection through a left turn lane so he could get to the viaduct. What is the world coming to? So the Union Pacific tracks are off to the left there. They're going to go underneath this bridge here. I don't know if you'll be able to see anything. Red signal down there. So I wonder how far Maniac's going to get before he kills somebody. I can see him up there. He's half a mile ahead of me. Fresh chicken and duck eggs. I think he's about to do it again. That's him up there. Yep, that's him in the left lane passing somebody. At least this time it was in a passing zone. He's going to have to pass that white van in a little bit. Well, folks, driving on Illinois 38 between DeKalb and West Chicago is just like driving NASCAR, I guess. You know, here I am. I'm really kind of expecting an automotive accident. Okay, another stoplight. Let's see if Jackass passes people at the stoplight. Sure looks like he's setting up for the move. He's in the left turn lane. Yeah, he's sneaking back in. Look at that. What a check. I think he just positioned himself to be first in line when the light changes. Oh, this is Illinois 47. So since he's going straight, I'm not going to turn on 47. Okay, if you can have an ambulance chaser, can there be such a thing as an ambulance leader? Oh boy. Alright, so he didn't turn, so he definitely went straight. Alright, so we're 9 miles from Geneva. This is so congested that if he decides to do another jackass move, he's gonna kill himself and other people. Not one way, but it's no passing right here. Coming up on the 4-way crossing. That noise was my collision avoidance system. It read the white line to the right. Alright, I don't think he got very far. He kind of slowed down. He did pass the white van. And I believe that's him, second in line at the light. I believe this is La Fox Road. The Geneva Theater. Downtown Geneva. See if the battery will last all the way to the Fox River. Otherwise, we'll miss it. Okay, downtown Geneva and the bridge over the beautiful Fox River. I don't know if you can see it, there's a dam about 100 feet north of the bridge. Kirk Road. We're going to head up to 59 and then 59. I absolutely have to head down towards 88, the tollway. There's no way I'm going to go across DuPage County on 38. Cots Road, named after the world famous surgeon who came up with the cauterization process. UP tracks are right over there, the old Chicago Northwestern. We're entering the West Chicago area. West Chicago was originally known as Turner Junction, and Turner was, I believe, the president of the railway when the railway was being built back in the old days, 1848, 1849, 1850. Okay, this track coming up here, I believe, is the old Burlington that went to the West Chicago Diamond right by the old West Chicago train station. The Diamond has been removed. And up until recently, there was a cereal plant, like, I don't know, Cocoa Krispies or Cheerios or something over there. And when that shut down, that's pretty much no more action on this line. That's the original rail line that the Burlington used to access Chicago before the racetrack got built. Okay, to Illinois 59. Getting off 38 after going across the good part of 2 counties. Well, we're going through Warrenville right now. That's the water tower over there. Warrenville is a modern Chicago area suburb. It didn't get going until, 1964-65. And when they were looking for a name for the town, what was big in the news in those days was the Warren Commission. So this town was actually named after the Warren Commission. The semi-trailer rig ahead of me here, those are Teslas. I think they're brand new Teslas. The dual motor. All right. I don't care who makes cars. I just don't trust this type of delivery of vehicles. Keep expecting them to fall off. Has anybody noticed the ongoing theme of paranoia during this trip? All sorts of deadly accidents happening along this way. I'm still trying to break out of the plural thing where I speak of myself in the third person. Well, we're coming up on Illinois 56, Butterfield Road, and the irony here is in another 15, maybe 20 or 25 minutes, we'll be getting back on Butterfield, but on the other side of the county. I love modern skyscrapers. Why, there's nobody there! It's a Potemkin low-rise. So we're going to be getting on I-88 in the next block or so. They changed it around, 6 years ago or so. It used to be a normal cloverleaf type setup. And now it's a diverging diamond. I think in order to go east, I'll be making a left. And that might be where this line of traffic is going. We now have to cross all the traffic coming the other direction, and we're at their mercy if they're homicidal maniacs. That's the East-West Tollway, known as the Reagan. I got the arrow. Ecolab. I think that used to be Nalco over there. Big building to the left, that's Nicor Gas, formerly known as Northern Illinois Gas. Oh boy. I could have got ahead of the Teslas a long time ago, but for some reason I chose not to. That's a metric hop. That's something you don't see every day. This hill used to be the highest point in DuPage County, and in October of 1871, when the Chicago fire was going, the residents in Naperville could see the flames and the smoke from the top of the hill. Then you go up to about 1960, and the toll authority and the highway department decided that the hill was too tall, and they chopped it down. I don't know what it was, 10 or 30 feet. So the highest point is no longer the highest point. And we got ahead of the Metro guy. METXP 122. Yeah. Well, it's exactly 5:05, which means I've been out of the Yorkfield metropolitan area for about 10 hours. Left 10 hours ago, and now I'm coming back in the town, so the whole trip will probably be about 10.5 hours. I got one other spot I gotta check out once I get back to the area. Alright, this is the junction of 355. This is the interstate version of Illinois Route 53. And I remember when this got built. That was like the very late 1980s, very early 1990s. And I'll tell you something else. You see all these low rises and mid rises? I can remember a day when it was nothing but grass between here and Butterfield Road. The whole area has become urbanized. Alright, this must be the congestion that they were warning us about earlier. They said 7 miles of congestion. Okay, just the other side of the median here, on the back side of one of these buildings coming up. Let's see if I can find the substation. I was a busboy at a restaurant here over 50 years ago, the old Beef and Barrel. Originally, the gimmick was you could throw peanut shells on the floor. Later on, it became popcorn, and I remember many a Friday and Saturday night making the popcorn. I think it's coming up in here somewhere. If you go down Butterfield now, I think it's a FedEx Kinko's. Like I said, I can remember the day when this was all grass between the expressway and Butterfield. Also, this was a grass median. It was 2 lanes each way with a grass median. So we're passing through Oakbrook right now. The mall is maybe a quarter mile past these. Well, it's just the other side of these buildings, really. It's 22nd Street. And then coming up ahead of us is the ramp to get on 294 South. And I'll be on 294 South for maybe a 32nd of a mile, and then I jump off for York Road. The tall building to the left is where McDonald's corporate used to be. And I was just over here yesterday, one of the buildings over here, and I was talking to my financial and business advisor, and we were discussing certain technical forward-looking possibilities. See the sawed-off antenna and this shack right here, the brick shack? Right about here, I believe, was the original York Road toll plaza for the tollway. And we're going to cross Salt Creek here. Right about where the tollway crosses Salt Creek is where the old Road quarry was. It was never really much of a quarry. But just downriver Salt Creek, between Salt Creek and 22nd, and 22nd is now on this side of the tollway, was the old York Township Cemetery. And that cemetery was vacated by the mid-60s. The land was needed for more offices. Salt Creek. Alright, so this is the part of 294 that I jump on for just a few moments. I shall warn the people behind me that I am going to York Road. In Elmhurst, it's officially York Street, but oh well. How do you like that for a change of contrast? That's Hub Group right there in front of us. Or that might be Hub Group. So we're getting close to the end of the video here. We're going north on York. We're about to enter Yorkfield and then Elmhurst. This is Old York Road. Used to cross up here. York Street, York Road was straightened back around 1958, 1960, thereabouts, when the East-West Tollway and 290 got put through. And just yesterday, by coincidence, with my chief financial advisor, we drove back into the woods here. This is Old York Road that divides a fraction of the forest preserve. That's the York Woods Forest Preserve over there. But when they built the new version of York, they cut off a piece of it here. And this is Old York back in there. And this is where the trailer court used to be. This was the Southern Trailer Court. And here's Roosevelt, by the way. Remember driving down 38? Rochelle, DeKalb? Well, here it is in Elmhurst. I'm not going to aim the camera west. We'll just kind of look east. So it's getting up to 5:30, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to Hillside and see if anything's coming up the Canadian National. I can't remember the afternoon train on the CN on the Freeport. If it was 4:30 or 5:30 thereabouts. Pretty soon I'm going to be making a video just about York Road, York Street. Take it from beginning to end. This is Lexington here. This is Killer Lexington. Okay, and just that quick we were through Yorkfield. So I got the word this morning when I was at the BP buying my lottery tickets that the zoning process has moved forward and the demolition should begin in about a month, and they're going to level it and build a whole new station. On my Slow TV playlist, there's a couple of videos where I either travel through it or start it. Kind of fun. I did at least one where I went through the car wash and then I started up the trip. So we're coming up the Butterfield Hill. We're heading towards the county line. Right along here is some of the highest ground in Elmhurst, Illinois. Now this street is Cedar. The next one, not the one to the left, this is the other Cedar. For the other people. This street over here, this is Hillcrest, and just past Hillcrest, this is the supposed high spot. It's like 700 feet above sea level. We're coming up on 294, the permanent construction, and we'll go under it, and then we take a hard right, and that puts us on the Darmstadt. And as we make the turn, you're going to see the viaduct for the railroad. The old Illinois Central, Freeport sub, now the Canadian National. Way back in there, way back, the warehouse back there. That was the old S&H green stamps in Hillside. There used to be a bar here called Bubba's, and it burned down. So this parking lot here on the left, this is where I get quite a few of the Canadian National trains. The signal is yellow over red, so I don't think anything's coming west. Well, no trains. I was hoping for one last one of the day. Nothing. From here, if there's a train in the yard in Cicero, which is about 7 miles away, you can see the headlight. There could be something coming from that direction, but it's almost impossible to predict. And I've done probably 100 videos over here, and some of them talked about the track condition here. Well, I put about 200 miles on the car. York and Butterfield to the north end of Janesville is something, 90 miles, at least 90. Going out 88 to 39, that adds about 10 miles, so it might have been 100 miles. This is Darmstadt again. $100 miles and pretty much a full tank of gas. Once again, this is where the bar burned down. I drank beer in there. And even longer ago, one block up, there was a restaurant called the Villa Marie, which we used to go to for pizza. And up there at Harrison and Hillside, was a restaurant that burned down in like 1964, 65, 66, and that cloud of smoke covered the whole area. See that water tower? That's the old S&H green stamp water tower, and the railroad tracks are right there, and they had their rail spur that went to the building, and the sun is right over the railroad dock, and they had rail service, and that got pulled up in the 70s. One last plug for a video, and that's Ghost Tracks of Hillside, Illinois. What I did is I went around this town and I looked at places that used to have rail service and made a video on that. So we're going to close it out because the battery is pretty much dead now. Right up here, A month ago, I make the left turn. There were 2 cars in front of me making the left turn. Just as soon as we made the left turn and got underneath the bridge, a guy comes the other way, hits the first guy head on, ricochets off, and then manages to do a head-on side swipe of the guy in the van next to me. Freaked me out. I thought the guy was still coming, so I threw my car in reverse and I backed up 25 feet. I did check to make sure nobody was behind me. But that was a scary event. And then I had to hang out for the emergency services, and traffic was completely stopped here. What was totally cool, though, was the police, after they got all my information and everything, said, you know, it's going to be a while to clean this one up. Can we get you out of here? I said, can you? And they said, sure. So they blocked the traffic, the eastbound traffic, and they... oh, this is a cool shot right here. Look at this. They blocked the eastbound traffic, and I was able to go to the left there and get around, and then I was able to get going. Whoo, boy! Oh, talk about neat sun. So, what a dramatic way to conclude the video by T-boning a white van. Oh, the paranoia today is something. Well, I'm looking forward to your comments, your likes. Please share and subscribe. I hope you like the